Pleased to be joined now here on the Blog and the Boys Podcast Network by the one, the only, the legendary, internationally famous, debonair, handsome as all could ever tell, the one and only, once again, Pro Football Hall of Famer, the original 88, Drew Pearson. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here at BTB, Drew.
Hey, thank you so much for that introduction, man. Can we do that again?
I'll be your hype man whenever you need.
I'm just kidding.
You've
Thank you for that.
You've put in long enough to have a hype man. Anytime you walk into a room, you should have somebody kind of like the old King's Court. You know what I'm saying? Just like introduce you. And if you step back out, and you walk back in, somebody should have to do it all over again. We're talking almost a week after it was officially announced that you are a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Way, way, way long overdue, as you well know. But you've known for some time, obviously. But what has the last week been like for you as everybody has kind of come around to celebrate with you?
Yeah, had a little celebration when I got back from Tampa with my family. And, before we get to that, man, this class I'm with, man, is extraordinary, man. We spent that weekend together. It's like we've been together all our lives, and we connected, and we're still connecting now with group texting and making plans together to go to Canton in August. And it's like that. So when I got back home, I had another celebration. My family was here. They celebrated with me. But all along, RJ, I've been getting text messages, emails, phone calls, well wishes, and things of that nature from everybody, family, friends. And the best thing about it, I get a lot of that from my teammates that I played with. And they say, you finally got there, you belong there. Guys like Rayfield Wright saying the hall just got better now that you're here. Tony Dorsett, Roger Staubach, all these great Cowboys. And then I got some, well wishes from people from other teams, Marcus Allen and Joe Green. Joe Green says, welcome to the team. Say, yeah, maybe now I can beat you, Joe Green, after you beat us in 2 Super Bowls. But it's been a great ride, and I'm enjoying every minute of it, RJ.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you brought up your fellow classmates. And I feel like I've never been a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, obviously. But I feel like you would feel intrinsically connected with them because you are going to share something incredibly special with them for the rest of your life. I've been to one Hall of Fame enshrinement. It was 2010, headlined by Emmitt Smith and Jerry Rice, but lots of great people. Dick LeBeau, the late, great Floyd Little, Russ Grimm, really fantastic class all the way around. Do you kind of feel that way? Like, you've talked so much about immortality throughout the process of being elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Do you feel like you are immortally connected with these people specifically?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be immortally connected with every bust in that Pro Football Hall of Fame. But no, the connection will be so much stronger with Hall of Fame Cowboys, because most of those guys I played with, Bob Hayes or Roger Staubach, Rayfield Wright, Mel Renfro, these guys I played with. I went to war with these guys. And if these guys say you belong with them, man, that's really special because they know what I brought to the team. And that's kind of the thing, RJ, that the Hall of Fame voters couldn't see. Mm-hmm. They see the stats and all that, but they don't really see the value you were to the team. That I was captain. I was that vocal guy in the locker room, setting the tone in practice, being fired up for the game. Before they wouldn't let me, you had to have timeouts called on the sideline. Coach Landry designated me to be that guy downfield after making a catch to call the timeout because he trusted me like that. So, yeah, this is immortality. And I got immortality to an extent here in Dallas at the AT&T in that Cowboy Ring of Honor because that's something going to be there forever. And I'm connected with a great group there, in the Ring of Honor. But this immortality, this is really immortality. And now you're part of this team. And that's what David Baker said when he made that announcement to me. You joined one of the greatest teams ever assembled. And now you're one of these guys forever. And that's immortality. And that's what's special about being in that Hall of Fame. That's why so many guys want to get in there, RJ.
I think President Baker does such a great job of really kind of explaining how meaningful this is. And I love how he always tells all of you that they're going to protect your legacy forever, because that's what makes the Hall of
Right.
Fame the Hall of Fame. You mentioned the bust. You mentioned Rayfield Wright. It was during Rayfield's 2006 induction when John Madden famously said that he believes all the busts talk to one another at night and everything. If your
Yeah.
bust could talk to somebody who has left our earth, when the doors close, who do you think's the first bus that you would talk to?
Who has left our earth?
Correct. Because you can
Okay, it'd
call
probably
anybody
be
that's
my
still on earth right now and have a chat on any old random Friday. You know what I mean? So,
well, if he left my earth, RJ, it would be Bob Hayes, okay? Because we had so much together. He took me under his wing when I was a rookie, and that meant a lot to me and helped me adjust to Dallas and become a professional and stuff like that. But if it was a bus with a guy still living and still with us, it'd be Jerry Rice. Because I want to ask him, how'd you do it? You know, how'd you do what you did for so long and have the sustainability to be there each and every week, game in and game out, doing it not only in the regular season games, but doing it in the postseason and doing it like none other. You know, he's the only one. When people ask, do you feel like you're the greatest receiver of all time? Yeah, I feel that. But only one I consent to or give credit to over me would be Jerry Rice. So I would like to talk to Jerry Rice about that.
that makes sense. Jerry's one of the GOATs. Certainly, Tom Brady has made it a point to surpass him in a couple of capacities. You mentioned Bob Hayes. I don't know if you know this, Drew. I was thinking about it. Number 88. You know, you guys get a lot of love, rightfully so. But 22 and 88 are now the only numbers in Cowboys history that feature multiple Hall of Famers. Obviously, 22
Right.
belonged to Bob Hayes and Emmitt Smith, and now you and Michael Irvin. I imagine that 94 will get there with DeMarcus Ware. Already Charles Haley's in there. Going back to Rayfield Wright, Zach Martin certainly seems like he's on the way to the Hall of Fame. So that would give the Cowboys two more at least. I think Chuck Howley deserves to get in, and that would give the Cowboys another 54 along with Randy White. So I've always wanted to ask you something, kind of switching gears here. You've got your Super Bowl ring on. I mentioned before we started recording that we've met before. When I was a freshman in college, I went to the last game at Texas Stadium before the Cowboys played the Baltimore Ravens. You did an autograph signing, and it was a lot of fun, made a lot of great memories for me and my family. And you let, each of us wear your Super Bowl ring. And from everything I've seen, you let fans do that. And obviously we live in different times right now, but not everybody is like that. Not everybody, I would imagine, is so willing to share their Super Bowl ring, and it obviously means a lot to you. What is it about you that kind of made you start doing that? Did you see somebody do that, way back when and say, I like this, or did it just come to you? Because it does create a really powerful memory for a Cowboys fan to say, I'm wearing Drew Pearson's ring. I mean, think about how many people all over the world have that photo framed in their homes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my thing is I appreciate the fans so much, and I think it was Mother Teresa said, nobody will remember what you said, nobody remember what you did, but they'll always remember how you made them feel,
Mm.
And I always want to make them feel when they meet Drew Pearson. If they're taking the time to meet me and saying that makes my day, my dad, loved you, and I grew up under his wing, and now I'm a big Cowboy fan, and I know all about you because of him. All those kind of stories you hear. You just want to make their moment special, and nothing more special than giving them that opportunity to put that ring on. And after a while, RJ, it just became my thing. I just started doing it. And sometimes people come up to me and say, can I put the ring on? Because now they've seen other people do it. So, yeah, I try to do a little more. Even when I do signings and people wait in line for me, the promoters say and rush them through or something. No, take a picture, put the ring on, let's do it right. And that way they'll come back and they'll appreciate it. And like I said, it's all about how you make people feel. And I want to make people feel good because they making me feel good by telling me, how great I am, When people tell you how great you are all the time and what you meant to their lives and the impact you might have had on their lives, RJ, that's pretty special. So you want to give that back to them. And I'm proud to say, I think I do it better than anybody, because I care about it. And I see other guys, and it bothers me sometimes. You know, I was with a former Cowboy one time. We're doing an autograph session together, and he was upset because the money wasn't right. He was upset with the promoter. And so he was taking that out on the fans in line, and we're sitting together there. So I had to pull him out of this autograph and say, hey, look here, I don't care what you got going with this promoter, but these fans, you know, it ain't their fault, okay? We're here, we're gonna do it right, and then we deal with this business back there. So, you know, that's very important to me to do it that way. And that's the way I've done it and will continue to do it.
I think that's really awesome. And I think it means something different to your average fan that gets an autograph or a picture, whatever the case may be, because it doesn't feel like I'm just another person in the line. You know, it feels like I'm somebody that mattered to Drew Pearson. I'm somebody that mattered to whoever. And so I've always admired that about you, and I think that's really cool. I do feel for you, Drew, because now your autograph's going to take a little bit longer. You got to write ROH, you got to write HOF. I mean, you know,
yeah.
you got to study, do some hand exercises. Call Jerry Rice up. I'm sure he's got a couple for you to kind of work on in that capacity.
Yeah. Give me some, Jerry.
Yeah, exactly. Something else, you know, I'm so curious about, and I admire this greatly, is you have been so vocal about how much the Hall of Fame means to you. And everybody saw the video last year after, again, you had to wait another year too long. And that's not how everybody is. A lot of people, you know, a lot of people want to play it cool. A lot of people want to say, oh yeah, if it happens, it happens. It doesn't mean a lot to me. But I really respect that you have said, no, hell no, this means everything to me. Why have you felt the need to be that vocal? I'm just so fascinated by this.
Well, you know, it's kind of the crowning, I don't know, the word appreciation, satisfaction, you know, for your career, you know, the pinnacle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never thought of when I was growing up being a Hall of Famer, okay? Even in college, you would just wanted to be a pro. That was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was with the Dallas Cowboys, I never thought about being a Hall of Famer. All I wanted was my game that particular day be good enough to be a stepping stone to one day put me in the Cowboy Ring of Honor. And then when I got in the Ring of Honor, now you're starting. But before then, even RJ, you know, people were talking that you're a Hall of Famer and everything. And in the process, you made all decade team of the 70s,
right?
You know, about 4 or 5 receivers that played in the 70s that are in the Hall of Fame, and you're not. So then you start thinking about, yeah, maybe I belong in that group. And then you have other people telling you. And, you know, but the process is so tough. And that's why it's the most prestigious of all sports Hall of Fames. And all due respect to the others, they're Hall of Famers for sure. But because there's so many players every year that become eligible to, you know, be available for the Hall of Fame. And they're good players. Look at the senior committee, that logjam, that bottleneck there. And now they even reduced it to 1 senior a year. And now the bottleneck even gets worse. For example, Everson Walls, you know, right. He was a finalist a couple years ago. The last time he's able to be a finalist, a modern day finalist. So he didn't get in. So now he has to go into the senior category. And he's lumped in that category. So he might not ever get a chance to be talked about and get in that room. But you know what? I had some good people behind me, some people here in Dallas that covered the Cowboys, Rick Gosselin, Shareen Williams, you know, and then later that were here and then moved on to Jared Bell, to Gary Myers. You know, these guys have been in my corner, especially Rick Gosselin, who is on the senior voting committee. And he's the one that was pushing me. And so you become all decade and you think, yeah, I should be a Hall of Famer. There's no question about it after that. And then when your teammates tell you that you should be a Hall of Famer as well. But at that point, you don't know if you're ever going to get in. My thoughts really took off when they talking about the Centennial class.
Right.
Okay. I thought this would be my door. That's why I had everybody at my house and all the cameramen, you know, and all that there, because I wanted everybody to capture this moment to see my excitement. And then when it didn't happen, you know, you saw the disappointment. But what that did for me, it kept my name in the process. It kept it alive. So here comes August, you know, when the seniors vote on the senior candidate, bam, I'm unanimous pick because it's fresh on everybody's mind what I went through. But I had to maybe go through that to let it happen. But other guys have gone through some things. You know, Harry Carson got turned down so many
Right.
times. He said, hey, take my name off the ballot. You know, every time you talk about me not getting in, it's a negative. Take my name off the ballot. You know, other guys get frustrated with it. Al Faneca, you know, what did he wait? 6 or 7 times? John Lynch, 7 times. He got the knock on the door and said no. Wow, 7 times. So it's a tough process to get through. And you got to get your name. Former Cowboys, what we can do to help former Cowboys get the recognition in that senior category is starting putting some of these guys in the Cowboy Ring of Honor.
Right.
Okay. Because that was big for me. That helped me get my name back out there when I got in 2011. So Harvey Martin, Everson Walls, Charlie Waters, you know, there's some great players that played in that era with me that Jerry Jones doesn't know that much about, but what they meant to the team, he needs to find out what they meant. But anyway, that would help us get more players into the NFL Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I agree with you. I do think the Pro Football Hall of Fame is just a tad bit more prestigious than other sports. And it is unfortunate, I don't want to call it the politics, but for lack of a better word, that go into it. And then you do get lumped into a particular category. It is a bit of a logjam. That even happens with modern day finalists. About 10 years ago when Andre Reed and Troy Brown, you get these voters that say, well, we don't want to put in too many receivers or too many offensive linemen or whatever. It is somebody's a Hall of Famer or they're not.
Well, you know what happens with that, RJ? That's the voting process with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Nobody sees each other's vote.
Right.
You know, they don't even see it after the voting's done. They don't know. Rick Gosselin's calling me, did you get in? Gary Marr's calling me, did you get in? They don't even know the vote. And if the vote was transparent, you know, there wouldn't be no issues like too many wide receivers or too many Cowboys. You know, there wouldn't be any biases. There wouldn't be any politics. But, you know, I'm not trying to change the process or anything. I'm not trying to be no militant pioneer here or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I told Mr. Baker after I got in, make the process even a little tougher. You know? Yeah, that's
awesome. That's so good. The video was great. Drew obviously loved seeing you get the moment. It was cooler. I liked, personally as a fan, getting to watch people, get surprised in different situations as opposed to the stereotypical, hotel room. And the challenges of the last year at least provided that cool bit of unique twist. Obviously Roger Staubach and Jerry Jones were both there for you in that particular moment. If you could have had another Cowboys player or figure, who would you have wanted to have been there to make a third member of the Cowboys specifically be there with you in your moment?
Dead or alive.
Either way, it's your call. You're the Hall of Famer here.
Coach Landry. I have to pick two, Coach Landry and Harvey Martin.
Sure.
Those are the two that I miss the most as former Cow, and Bob Hayes as well. And other guys, but Harvey Martin was my roommate, for 11 seasons. We came into the league together. We retired at the same time. Same thing with Billy Joe Dupree. We came in the same year. We retired the same year. We call ourselves the decade plus one boys because we played 11 seasons. But Coach Landry, man, if it wasn't for his system that depended on character, intelligence, passion, and then maybe some talent, you had all the other three and some talent, he could coach you up to be a good football player. And he took me as an undrafted free agent and coached me up to be a Hall of Famer, So those two guys would add something else to it. But, the fact that it went down the way it did, with all due respect to the other guys, I watched that show last night and how the other guys got their message, but all due respect to the other guys. But I think my deal was the best, okay? They were all outside. They couldn't go in the house. And they caught Woodson by his pool and all that. I'm at the Cowboy complex, okay? I got a Hall of Famer there, Jerry Jones and Roger Staubach. And granted, I didn't have my family there, but man, to do it that way, it meant a lot to me, And Jerry Jones really wanted it to be done that way. And RJ, after all that process happened, and we did all the interviews and dried all our tears and all that kind of stuff, Jerry asked me to go upstairs and meet with him. I sat and met with him for an hour, and we talked about so many different things. I've never had that opportunity to do that with Jerry Jones. Our path has crossed many times, but for him to give me that time, and he did it to tell me what I meant to the Dallas Cowboys all these years, and that going into the Hall of Fame should have happened a long time ago. And so anyway, it couldn't have happened a better way. And again, all due respect to the other guys, because we are connected in the class of 2021, and we're going to be connected for the rest of our lives. That's pretty cool.
I'll say it as well, Drew. I think you had the coolest moment, and I know you waited far too long, but I think you did it your way, and I hope you have just an immense level of peace and pride and joy in the whole process. I think I speak for Cowboys fans everywhere in thanking you for how great of an ambassador you've been for our favorite football team. I think the Hall of Fame is what it is in the minds of so many, this pinnacle of legacy and leadership and immortality, like we talked about, mostly in large part because of what you and your teammates and even your competitors in the 70s did. I mean, you guys elevated this game to the point that we all love it so much so many years later. We're so happy for you. We're so thrilled for you. We're so thankful that you took some time to join us. I hope you enjoy every moment of the rest of your life, but of the lead up. I mean, soak it all up, smile as big as you can, sleep in the jacket. I mean, do whatever you can, Drew. You deserve it. Pro Football Hall of Famer Drew Pearson, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
RJ, I enjoyed the conversation. Thanks for having the original number 88, Drew Pearson, HOF 2021. Hood, hood. Thank you, RJ.